You know, Bill, you're... Come here, fishy.
Another largemouth. Huh?
Another
Nice
largemouth.
largemouth.
Oh.
Okay. Pretty color.
Springtime fishing, Lake Wallenpaupack with my good friend Bill Albright. We're trying to catch some smallies, but hey, I'll take a largemouth too. We're fishing super sinkers and tubes. I'm Bob Murray, Double Valley Outdoors. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Woo.
Delaware Valley Outdoors, your best source for fishing information on TV, radio, and the internet.
So with these conditions, I know we got rocks and stuff, but these docks really do hold fish too.
Yeah, especially when you have these fronts, the fish will actually get right up tight to the docks, which makes it tough because when you got the wind blowing, a lot of times
I know. I mean,
make a cast and then the wind
see if
will
I
take
can
you
get
right
around
over the
it.
dock, you know?
Right. Get right on top of the dock. So I can get around it before I get hooked.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to play the windage today.
Right. Look at the wind. I mean, this is...
Look at this.
The wind's blowing me right up on the dock here now. There's one. Yeah, they're right over the dock, right? Do you believe this? Huh? We can't win. We can't win. He's still on there. If I ever get over there. Unbelievable.
I'm laughing at you, my line.
No, the wind took me right over the dock.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's on there. He might have got off that time.
I think he got off.
Yeah, he's not tugging now.
No, I think I saw him.
Saw him jump off?
Yeah.
No, he's on there.
Is he? He's still on?
We're caught on everything. We're caught in the timber. We're caught on a chain. I don't know if he's there now or not. We are caught on everything.
That was one heck of a fish, Bill.
A nice fish, yeah, it was. It was a nice fish. It's gone. Gee, can you believe that?
Over the dock, under the dock.
He's on the chain here now.
He's still there.
He's still there, but he's wrapped.
Oh, man.
How are we gonna get that? Huh?
All right, let's see.
Oh, you can't reach down that far.
Can we just shake him, or?
Well, I'll just shake him. I mean, if he breaks off, he breaks off, right? What are we gonna do?
Can you see him, Mike?
Huh?
He's right there.
I know, I can see him. He wrapped himself on the chain. There he is.
There he is.
Grab him there, Bob.
Come here, fishy. All right.
Boy, we had to work for that, huh?
We're up here on Lake Wallenpaupack. Springtime fishing's tough. Fronts have just killed us, right?
Right. We're having a lot of rain this year. A lot of these fronts, every other day it rains, fronts are going through. We got real high water. And, you know, they're just making the fishing tough.
I know, and we're throwing super sinkers.
Right.
Up on these docks and stuff like that. That fish came under a dock, over
a chain,
right. And everything
Never
like
thought
that.
we'd get him.
But it's a beautiful fish. A lot of nice chunky fish.
Yeah, nice chunky fish. Yeah, they're all starting to move up now, feeding and for the spring, you know.
Yeah, that's the hard thing though, because of the weather conditions.
Oh yeah.
They move out, they move in.
Right.
And the high water has really put them in a lot of tough places.
Yeah, they're up real shallow with this high water. Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get this fish back in.
Beautiful fish, right. Okay.
Bill and I are pitching these baits. This is a super sinker by Durstein. They come in a variety of names, but what it is, it's just a piece of plastic, but it has a lot of salt in it. It's a very dense plastic, which makes it fall very slowly through the water column. And how we're actually fishing it is wacky style, which is just the mere fact that you just take the hook, place it right through the middle, expose the hook point, and that's it. It's kind of a crazy situation, but that's what it is, just wacky style, and then we just pitch it out. We're using 6 to 8 pound test line on a spinning rod. That seems to work the best. And we're just pitching it up to docks, trees, anything like that, and just letting it sink real slowly through the water column. Fish come up, tap it, and you gotta watch your line, and that's all there is to it. Bill, we've got a lot of docks here, and these are great bait to fish docks, right?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they got a nice slow fall, so it's, you get it right up alongside the dock, and just let it kind of flutter down and stays in that strike zone longer, and the fish can see it. And the fish do like to hang all around these docks, so they'll come over and grab it,
So you can just like pitch it up against along the docks,
in there, yep.
and just let it fall. And you could, I mean, it's just not one pitch to a dock. I mean, you could.
Oh yeah, you hit all the corners.
All the corners.
The back walkways are real good. You just got to contend with the ropes and the chains. You got to kind of watch them. But
yeah, there is a problem with that. But
if you don't throw in there, you're not going to get the hit. So you got to worry about that after.
Right. Yeah. Worry about that later.
Right. Yep.
But I noticed like the back corners seem to be doing pretty good at this time, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, usually that's the wider part of the dock too, so that's the most shade. A
little bit of shade there,
right.
And it's still fairly deep underneath these docks, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Do you prefer any docks to other docks? I mean, you got the floating.
Everything here is a floating dock. You don't have any permanent docks because they have to take them out. So, but you want to look for the ones that are wider, and if they have carpet on, that's even better because it's even more shade. A lot of them are carpeted. Yeah.
So it even blocks the sun more for them.
Right. But the wider they are, actually, the better they'll be. They provide more cover for the fish.
So look for a wide dock with carpet on it.
That's a great structure, yeah.
A little bit better structure.
Yep.
We'll be back with more fishing on Lake Wallenpaupack after this.
This is the hand that sows the seed, that grows the forest, that drinks from the stream, that hugs the mountain, that gives shape to the wind, that carries the kite, that is flown by the child, that is loved by the woman, that toils at the job, that gives to Earthshare, that supports the hand, that sows the seed.
All life is woven together. How can we choose which environmental cause to support? Earthshare, the workplace giving program, makes it simple by bringing the leading environmental groups together under one umbrella. Support Earthshare, and you support them all, including the hands that sow the seeds and protect the forests and the streams and the children. To learn more, please visit our website.
There's a moose. Where? Over there. Oh, yeah. Look, over there. I see a fish. A fish with 2 stripes.
Spend time with kids anytime, and it helps prevent crime. It's that easy.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. Feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Springtime now, Bill, and we have the super sinker patterns that are going right now. But after that, what happens? Where do we go from there?
Well, once, after this pattern, the fish will be up spawning, and then, of course, you catch them on the tubes when they're up shallow, lizards, stuff like that. Then when that's over, the post-spawn will be a real good top water bite on the lake for several weeks.
Buzz baits or?
Yeah, well, Rapala, like twitching a Rapala, Popar, Zara Spook works real good here. Okay, and that'll last for several weeks too. And then, of course, after that, it starts to get real warm. The fish will move out deep, and then you're better off with a drop shot rig or a tube. Tube on an 1/8 or 1/4 ounce jig head works real good.
And that's what, how deep would the fish move out there then?
They're usually in like 15 to 30 feet.
Are they still off of this structure? I mean, would you just move out here, or do they move to certain other places?
No, they pretty much, they don't go too far, you know. Yeah, they move off the end of the flats, first drop off, where you got ledges, and there's a lot of stumps out in the water, logs out in the water, stuff like that.
And so you'll just back off onto
Back off, yep.
and then just, again, light line again?
Well, you can go a little heavier when you're fishing deep. I mean, you can use 8 or 10, you know, because you will get stuck a lot more fishing deep than you do up shallow like this. You're not going to get it loose, you know, so you can get away with it. It's darker down there. You can get away with a little heavier line.
And then how long does that bite last till?
You can do that right up through September, you know, and then once it starts cooling down, the fish will start moving back in. And then, of course, you got a good buzzbait bite then, spinnerbait bite,
That's what,
crankbait.
September-ish?
Yeah, September, October. Yeah. Yeah, they'll move. They'll start moving their way back in for the feed for the winter. Just a little bit. Oh, look at the big one with him. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, the buck was. I got the buck. He couldn't get it out there quick enough.
Damn.
Got the buck, and the big female was coming right with it.
Right with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens a lot in the springtime, doesn't it, Bill? When you get a small fish like that, you got to be ready because right behind it, there could be 2, 3, 4 fish.
Right. The other fish are trying to get the bait out of his mouth. Yeah.
They'll fight for it. I mean, that's where a lot of times when you catch 2 fish on the same plug.
Yep. That's happening.
That's what happens when they're so aggressive.
Right.
That was a big fish too that came with it.
Yeah, it was a good 3.5 pound smallie right behind another one. Yep.
Yeah, so I couldn't get my line in.
Yeah, that's why I said get your. A lot of times when you see that, if the other guy has his line in,
if you drop it down there, you would have got the fish.
Oh yeah, definitely catch the other fish there because they're so locked on.
Yeah. Because as soon as something moved away from that other fish, boom, they would have had it.
Yep.
Bill, we're up here on Lake Wallenpaupack. You guide up here on Lake Wallenpaupack and other lakes too. Tell us a little bit about the guide service and that kind of stuff.
Well, we fish from April to November on here. We also do a lot of the other lakes in PA, New York, and New Jersey. You know, we get a lot of tourist business in the area. People want to go out and fish, and I also get people who've been fishing the lake, you know, for a couple of years and they're not having any success. And you take them out just to show them what works, the different seasons, and where they should be fishing. You know, and
during that time.
During that time, right? And that helps everybody out, you know. Because it's not a hard lake to fish, but you have to know what to do when. That's the whole key here. You know?
Well, I know, and it's just with anything, it's a very popular lake.
Right.
And now we've come up during the middle of the week because obviously it's easier for us, but it's a little tough on weekends, isn't it?
Right. Anybody, if they're coming here after school's out on the weekend, which a lot of people do, I mean, your best thing is to get here early, fish till like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then get off the lake if you're just fishing, because the boat traffic just gets too much. The water gets muddy, and you got a lot of waves, and so it's hard to fish after about 11 o'clock.
Ooh. And then you also fish at night, though, right?
Yeah, at night we do the striper walleye. Yeah, yep.
And,
the lake has a good population of stripers and walleyes, and it's pretty much a night feeder to start with. So that's when you're going to catch them.
I know when we put in this morning, there were a couple of guys just coming out.
Yep.
And they had been fishing basically all night for walleye and stuff like that.
There's one.
There we go. They're off on that dock again.
Yep.
Now let me see.
Was that a bass or a rocky? I think it's a big rock bass, I think.
Rock bass.
And that's something. Well, look at right behind him. And look at, largemouth was right behind him again.
I can't get it.
Oh, jeepers.
We got to go back over there and do that again.
Nice largemouth. Look at the size of that rocky, though. That is a huge rock bass. He fooled me.
Well, Bill, what all species we got? Rock bass in here. What else?
We got rock bass, of course, all your panfish. There's real big perch, real big calico. And you got your smallmouth, largemouth. You got several species of trout in here. You know, brown trout, lake trout. Then you got big catfish in here. And you got your stripers, you got the hybrids and the real ones. And then you have walleye. So there's and pickerel, of course. Pickerel, we got a couple of them. So, I mean, it's got a lot of nice fish and a lot of variety, you know.
But again, during that season, you get on the lake real early.
During the summer season, yeah. Either fish at night or you've got to fish early on the weekends and get off because it just gets too tough after like 11 o'clock.
Yeah. They get a lot of recreational boaters with the jet skis.
Everybody's out.
Skiing.
You know, everybody's out. Jet skis, skiing, you know, so everybody's using the lake.
But one of the best times, you know, and we've never been able to do it, is the October-ish, right?
Right. When the fall is real good. Pretty much everybody's gone home then. A lot of the docks are being taken out. You know, the fish are real accessible. Great buzzbait bite here in the fall. It's a lot of fun.
And a spinnerbait bite, right?
Spinnerbait bite too, yep. Spinnerbait, buzzbait. Yeah, they like to chase stuff in the fall. The water's getting cold. You get them on a crankbait too. But
I know. We've been trying to get up here in the fall for I don't know how many years. It just our schedules never have.
Just another one there. Yeah.
Well, now we've been fishing a lot of different spots today, but the docks seem to be doing it with this cold front, right?
Yeah, with this front, the fish were just cruising the banks, and it was real simple to catch them. But now, with this front coming through, they're more or less just holding right on the structure. So they're right tight to the docks today. And with the wind, that makes it a little harder to fish. But you got to make the best of it.
Yeah, this is June, and we're we're in pretty heavy clothing for June as it is. But I think I couldn't ask for a better bait than these sinkers on this stuff, because I mean we're putting it right along the docks, right in the areas where the fish are. They're backed up into under these docks because they're not out in that open area.
No, they were out in the open, but now I mean it's obvious today that we're just not getting a bite out in the open water. Yeah.
And one thing you had said too, you want to change. You want to put your sunglasses on, get your polarized glasses on, because there are a lot of. This was fairly clear water. You said it's a little stained. It does. It's
with all the rain,
clear.
Right. With all the rain, it's a little off color, but I mean it is a clear lake, and with the sunglasses you can definitely see the boulders and the rocks better. When you want to specifically target what you're throwing to, it saves a lot of time. You don't waste a lot of casts.
But because we can see the light spots in here and stuff like that, and that's where you want to be right off of that.
Yep.
Because I mean, you're never going to see a smallmouth in the sense that they blend in so darn well with the rock.
Right, right.
But you'd be surprised. You're throwing to a rock and you don't think there's anything around it, and all of a sudden you get crushed.
Yep.
We'll be back with more fishing on Lake Wallenpaupack after this.
This is the hand that sows the seed, that grows the forest, that drinks from the stream, that hugs the mountain, that gives shape to the wind, that carries the kite, that is flown by the child, that is loved by the woman, that toils at the job, that gives to Earthshare, that supports the hand, that sows the seed.
All life is woven together. How can we choose which environmental cause to support? Earthshare, the workplace giving program, makes it simple by bringing the leading environmental groups together under one umbrella. Support Earthshare, and you support them all, including the hands that sow the seeds and protect the forests and the streams and the children. To learn more, please visit our website.
Look, there's a moose. Where? Over there. Oh, yeah. Look, over there. I see a fish. A fish with 2 stripes.
Spend time with kids anytime, and it helps prevent crime. It's that easy.
NRA for your free gun-safe educational book at 1-888-4-EAGLE-4. That's 1-888-4-EAGLE-4.
Well, Bill, we're at the tackle box section of the show, and it's not a very complicated tackle box section today, except the one tip that you do have is going to be quite interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's springtime. We had a strange year. The temperature for us has been way out of line. This morning it was freezing this morning.
Cool,
we had jackets on and stuff like that. The sun finally came out, and now we have some nice warm weather. But boy, that front really hurt us, didn't it?
This morning, yeah. All that cloud cover and the wind.
It just did it to us.
Out of nowhere, right?
But this time of the year, what would the bait be that you're going to use? It's going to be the super sinker, right?
Yeah, right. That's some slow fall bait. Fish are up shallow by all the rocks and the docks and the bushes, and that bait with that slow presentation, it doesn't spook them, and they just can't resist it. It stays in the strike zone so long.
Yeah, and you're throwing it on the spinning rods with what, 6
and 8 pound test. Yeah.
8 pound test. It's very easy to cast. I mean, in fact, we talked about this before, but the density of this thing is unbelievable. That you don't need any weight other than just the hook
itself, right?
Yeah, and you hook it a little differently than I do. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But the other hooks you were using is a red Gamakatsu hook. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Well, red has been very popular. I mean, it's on all your top water baits and crankbaits and everything. In about a year or two, they started making the hooks out of red now, too, to give it a little bit more flash, make it look like it's bleeding type bait, and it just draws the fish more to it when they see that little bit of red flash.
Okay, so we have a 4-inch, and this is a watermelon color, 4-inch super sinker. What size hook are you using?
That's a 1.0 octopus hook.
1.0 octopus hook. Now that's something people don't really hear about, an octopus hook. Give us a little bit more. What's the design of that, Bill?
Well, it has a real wide bend to it, which helps keep the bait on, gives you a good hook set. And you really don't need that long shank like on a regular worm hook because you're only using the hook point anyway because you're not Texas rigged.
Right.
So it doesn't hang up as much, but having a nice little short shank like that on it.
Okay, and I still use my Gamakatsu one. Didn't seem to change much today. It was tough.
The bite was tough.
It was tough fishing. But usually, what would people expect to find at this time of the year, June, on Wallenpaupack, where the fish would be?
Well, they'll be up shallow. I mean, they'll be in the rocks like we had today. You know, June that's where they should be. Water temperature should be about 5 degrees more. That's why they're a little sluggish.
Yeah, we had about 58.
Yeah, it's 57 to 59 in there. Yeah, it should be like 65 by now.
And when we got into some warmer water, we
caught more fish.
We caught more fish. Well, another bait that was toying between the super sinker and that's the tube. So we got here. What size tube do you like?
3.5 inch.
3.5 inch. Watermelon, same color again?
Yeah, green punk under watermelon. That's your two best colors for here. Yep.
How do you rig that now?
1/8 ounce jig up.
Just 1/8 ounce jig?
Use a slide-in head. You don't have to have a barb or anything. You just slide that up inside and leave the hook exposed.
Just slide it in.
Right.
Let the hook exposed and just pitch it up in there
throw it in
and
there,
just let it fall.
Right.
Now this is for what, more aggressive fish or just?
Well, when they're really on the bottom and they don't want to come up for the top water.
And then you'll pitch that.
The Cinco when it's just slow fall. This goes right to the bottom naturally.
And then you can just work it back.
Yeah, by the
now
rock,
you also mentioned that this bait, you're using this in the summertime. Also when you walk out,
Yeah, that's our main bait for like July through September. Fishing the 15 to 30 foot range.
And then just bringing it out.
Drop-offs, fishing right on the bottom, yeah.
And just dropping it off.
Great summer bait. Yeah.
Well, Bill, we're hooking these up today, and the cost factor of these is getting up there because when you catch maybe 2 fish, maybe 1 fish, we've lost on one hook set today, we lost a number of these things. It gets kind of expensive. But you have a trick here that it's unbelievable how you came about this idea, but I want you to take a look at this because Bill's really got a unique idea as to how to really hook a super sinker. Bill, you want to explain to us?
Well, what I do is I have an ink pen body here, but you have to make sure you get a wide enough one that your
super sinker
will fit inside. And then what you do is you take a rubber band, just a regular little rubber band, and these are available at Walmart and CVS. Put it over the pointed end, double it up, okay? And you can slide it right up on your ink pen. Refill. You take your bait, shove it right in there, get it about halfway, slide that off. Okay, then you just take your hook, which of course this will be tied to your line, and you just slide that under the rubber bands like that, and that'll last you sometimes 3 or 4 hours even.
And that's not hooked into the body of the bait at all?
Not hooked into the body, just into the rubber band.
So you can use a bait for a long time that way.
Yeah, unless you get hung up on the bottom or eventually it breaks in two, you know. But I mean, like bluegills, rock bass, anything small bass, they can't pull it off on you. And it won't rip it.
Right.
You get a good bass, a lot of times they'll just slide up the line, and you don't lose your bait.
Yeah.
And that'll save you a lot of money. I mean, plus it gives you a better hook set because your hook is more exposed.
Right, and that's just how,
that's just how it sits.
Just sits like that, and just use little rubber bands and that little tricky thing there.
Yep.
So there you go. There's a good tip for you. If you want to save some on your super sinkers, rubber band, little ink pen thing, you slide it up, hook it like that. It's going to be it. But one other thing before we end the tackle box, some new line you're talking about. Tell me about this new line.
Right. This is a new line. It's called Suffix. We've been using the 6-pound test in it. It worked fantastic. They've been in business for about 30 years. They've been making line for numerous other companies under brand names. And recently, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, they decided, well, why don't we make our own line for ourselves, too? So they've come out with what they call Suffolks. They make a saltwater version and a freshwater version. And it's very limp. It's very, abrasion
I noticed
resistant.
today it was amazing how nice it cast and stuff like that.
Very
And it is.
visible underwater.
You can see how limp it really is. It really is.
I'm impressed with it. I've been using it since April. I mean, we just got it. And since April I've been using it, and it's just fantastic.
And it was been on the saltwater market for a while.
Yeah, the saltwater fishermen have been using it for several years.
But now the freshwater guys have discovered it, and it's coming on. And what color is it you like this?
They call that green, yeah. And it's a, it looks more like lime or something, but it's totally invisible underwater.
Yeah, today when you cast it out, you
can't see it.
You can't see it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Bill, I tell you, it was tough out there today. We had cold fronts coming through. This spring has just been brutal. We had 2 inches of rain on Tuesday, high water, cold.
Right.
It's just been really tough. I think if you come here, you can do good in the springtime.
Right.
Use the super sinkers, use the tube, and
you'll catch fish.
You'll catch fish. Just go with that 6 to 8 pound test line. I think that's the ticket.
Yeah, the light line helps.
Well, that's the tackle box, and Bill, we're going to catch them again.
Yeah, we'll try it again. One thing about these fronts, Bob, is until we came back in here, I noticed it was a couple degrees warmer in here the other day, and I noticed today it's 2 degrees warmer, which can make a big difference when you got this front like this.
Definitely.
So hopefully we'll get some action back in here.
2 degrees
tangled up
can make a big difference.
Oh yeah. Yep. They were here the other day pretty good.
Yeah, but that 1 or 2 degrees difference can really...
Oh yeah, that's all it takes. It doesn't get quite as cold overnight,
Yeah.
They'll stay in there. Oh, there's a bite. There's a bite. There's one. Good smallie. Oh.
Get him up here, Billy.
Come there, boy. All right, come here. All right.
All right.
Nice smallmouth. That's why it pays to move, right?
That's it.
Cast.
Bill, I want to thank you for taking us up here. Tough conditions.
Tough
We're
day.
still catching fish.
Yep.
But I want to thank you again.
Sure.
Bill Albright, Wallenpaupack, Bill's Guide Service. Go to our website. We have Bill's link, DelawareValleyOutdoors.com. Send us an email. Fishing reports, right? You get everything you want over here.
Report.
I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you on the water. Accommodations provided by Earhart's Waterfront Resort, Hawley, PA.